Welcome to Botches. My voice cracked. Botches off road.
Welcome to puberty, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
All right.
I'm about to turn 30, so it's time.
Oh man, you're so young. I remember those days.
And to answer Gavin's question from the end of the last episode, I do not have a running form.
What? Why?
I blame Mark.
Yeah,
Why
of course
me?
he blames Mark.
No, really, that's really what it is. I've been busy as shit. I lost all of Saturday to a bullshit fucking wedding. And then Sunday, I was running all over because my wife was sick. And then I worked 14 hours on Monday, 17 hours on Tuesday. Then it was Wednesday. Okay, I could have worked on it. Oh, no, it was raining Wednesday.
Mm.
And it's not in the shop because I'd have to have a pull-through shop to get it back in the shop at this point.
I mean, you could technically pull through it.
In a roundabout way.
It'd be really hard.
It would be hard.
Yeah. It hasn't happened. This weekend it has to happen. I have to have a running truck after this
Yeah,
weekend.
dude. I just feel like you're missing out. You could have.
Do you know how much cheaper it'd be to drive the 4Runner right now?
You could have came out to Mike Horton's ride that we're doing.
Probably not. It's on a Friday.
Well, you just have to call in for a couple hours. It's not going to be a big deal.
Dude, I don't have time to do that.
Oh, Jesus.
Springtime on a farm sucks, dude. Like, okay, so I've got the compost guys are coming out to fix my composter on Tuesday. So I have to climb inside the composter and dig all the shit away from the front. I've got to have the whole composter washed. I've got to have the yard mowed, which has not fucking happened yet. Yeah, and then normal taking care of turkeys, which takes a whole day to begin with.
Yeah. This is why turkey farming blows.
Yeah.
Well,
I need a nice job where I can work like maybe 10 hours 4 days a week would be nice.
dude, my perfect job would be completely work from home. It would be set your own time as long as a project or whatever we were doing got done.
Yep.
And then, yeah, and just pays somewhat decently. Like, I don't even need it to pay great.
The other thing I would love is week on, week off.
Right. I just, like, if
Oh
I
my
could
God,
do
dude.
that for, like, work from home style, as long as the projects get done, Starlink, a better, like, electrical system to
Yep.
do that, and I work at camp for a couple hours a day, and we could just travel, and we could still get paid. I could still work. Oh, that'd be sick. And then get Sienna in on it too.
Even 2 weeks on, 1 week off, I'd be fucking happy. Like if I could drive truck and just be gone for 2 weeks and then get a week off every month. Oh my God, that'd be the best case
What
scenario.
about you, Mark? What's your dream job? What's that work? Not money wise, but what are you looking at for like work? I know we all want to just hit the
guess I've
lottery
never
and
thought
stop
about
working.
I guess I never thought about it. I
Really?
really have no input on that. No.
He's like, I'm working my dream job, man. We're splicing wires and digging
I
holes.
wouldn't say
and-
it's my I wouldn't say it's my dream job, but it's a lot better paying than my previous one, so
Oh, I get that.
can't complain too much.
I would say that like my most obtainable dream job I already had, and it was like the only shitty part. It was a contract. Working
Yeah.
at Nestle.
You love that.
I did. It was great. It wasn't set your own hours per se, but it was really fluid. As long as that their job that they needed done got done. A lot of the people there, I don't know why, because they get paid a lot of money, only worked like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and maybe part of a Friday, maybe. And then they would take like Friday through Monday off. Not all the
God,
time,
that's heaven.
but most of the time. Especially in like the summers, you'd have people leaving Friday at like 10 a.m. So it was really nice because when they were gone, I had nothing to do after my project was done. I could only scrub the lab room so many times, and it was a great. So I'd go and sit there and I'd do my job, throw my headphones in. Usually it's like 400 rounds of testing on certain types of packaging. And it's just really monotonous. Like I'd test a piece of packaging and then
When he says testing, he means taste testing baby food. We all know.
I did do that.
That's how Kevin caught fat.
Yeah. I did do that actually. That was part of it. But that was kind of like an extracurricular thing. Like they would make 4 or 5 batches of a baby food, and then you could sign up for testing it, and like you'd have to like write down the smells, the notes, like all of the things that you observed about it, and then which one you liked the best. And that was like our precursor for getting it through like other testings and stuff. Because they'd make it like in a kitchen, a real kitchen.
And your favorite was hands down the crushed peas, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Although Fremont is known for their crushed peas because they locally source that from farmers in the area.
Yep.
They also locally source a lot of their other vegetables. The other stuff isn't, but it's heavily, heavily monitored. I've never seen... I mean, it's baby food, so you obviously have to be very strict. But I have never seen something so strict with so many loopholes to go through just to do anything at all. So...
But yes, for listeners, our Fremont is a city that's in our county that is known for Gerber baby food, because that's where Gerber baby food originated.
Yeah, it's weird to say.
Yep.
Because Gerber was always a household like name, and you'd think it was much bigger. And I didn't even know that Gerber was the home of or Fremont was the home of Gerber until like a couple years ago, like before I started working at Gerber a little while back. I was just like, same name just happens to be, or they just have a factory in Fremont. I didn't know. But yeah, no, it was really cool. And when the big bosses and stuff weren't there Monday and Friday, I would get my stuff done, be like, hey, I'm done with my project. They're like, well, if you want to head home early, go ahead. Like, sweet. And they'd pay me for the rest of the day.
Do you know what other like household name foods are from Michigan?
Kellogg's?
General Mills is out of Reed City, and Yoplait is out of Reed City.
I didn't know Yoplait was.
Yep.
Wasn't there a lady that used to do all these commercials about Yoplait it was Activia. Activia. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's like, I take it for my digestive health so I could poop better.
But yeah, no, General Mills and Yoplait both are right there in Reed City. Like, back to each other. Because General Mills used to own Yoplait. Now it's owned by something or other Lactate, I think. I
tell you what's funny is working in that office space, and every car in the parking lot is like, at the least, like a $45,000 car. Like, Lexus, Mercedes, Tesla... you'd have a couple like brand new Toyotas, like a guy had the brand new Sequoia, like just one guy had an F-250 that was lifted, like completely mint. He also has a Challenger. He also has a plane. Like money, buku money these guys have. And then there's my truck. And it's just like this clapped out 07 lifted up with a bunch of shit on it and mud from the last weekend of camping all over the side of it.
So I used to work at Fluid Routing Solutions. So they make like the fuel fillers for all your cars. Most Toyotas, Ford, Chevy, Nissan. But anyway, and it was the same kind of thing. Everyone drove these really high dollar cars, and I drove a $500 93 Buick Roadmaster wagon that was beat to fucking hell.
Oh yeah.
And like I was a manager, right? So like I made more than most of the people on the floor, and I was just driving this beat to hell wagon.
Well, and it's funny because when it was cleaned up, they didn't know it was an '07. Like, you'd have people, they'd talk to me about it. They'd be
Right.
like, what year is that? Is that like a 2018? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not joking at all when I say this. Like, people were judging like 2015 and above for this. Before I did more of the modifications to it, because this was a couple years ago when it was cleaner, had
Yeah.
less scratches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd come back from like a camping trip, and there's mud just slaying down the side of it. The whole thing's covered in dust. There's trees hanging from the roof rack. And I'd go to work, and they'd go, have a fun camping weekend? I'm like, how'd you know? And they're like, your truck? And I'm like, oh, well, yes, I did. I come back from lunch, and there's like this big brown dirt spot on my leg from when I brushed against the truck or something. And I'm like, oh, crap, trying to be somewhat professional in an office setting. Not used to that at all. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. And it was a great job. I miss it dearly. It was like 23 an hour, which is pretty good.
Especially for our area. Yeah, I mean, you're lucky to get over 15, 16 around here.
Yeah, it was 23 an hour, and it was like the hours were guaranteed, so it was like it was a salaried position. So no matter what, I got my 40 hours, whether I was working technically or not. So yeah, it was awesome. And then my contract ended after they extended it 2 more times. And they're like, yeah, we simply just don't have the budget anymore. We there's nothing we can do. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You guys tried. Like, and then I went to the worst job I've ever had. And that's a whole different.
Ah, come on. That job was
That
great
was-
because you got to see me all the time.
That was a small. It was like someone turning a lamp on in a room. That was my dark days were lit up by Alex, but I couldn't talk to you long because I had shit to do.
And you know that it's bad when I'm the light of
Oh
your
yeah,
day.
dude, that sucked. It's not that Alex came in, but it just sucked that bad. Like when I came in, their store was building, and when I left, their store was still being fucking built slowly. Like,
Yeah, because they
Do you want to know
rebranded.
it's still
yeah,
happening?
they're still doing it. I know.
They're still fucking
Yeah,
doing it.
it won't
dude.
stop. The goal of that store is to literally cover every square inch with as much product as they can.
It is very hard to get through that hardware store
Yep.
now. The aisles have gotten smaller
Yep.
because they have moved them closer together to fit another
Yep.
aisle. And the only part that makes going in there worth it is that I never have to pay for any of their overpriced
Yeah.
crap because the company pays for that overpriced crap. And that and some of the cashiers are pretty funny, and I enjoy.
Oh yeah,
seeing
some of
them.
the workers were great. The workers weren't the problem. I mean, some of them were, but that's retail. But no, I was used to like Tractor Supply, very orderly. There's a large system behind everything. Everything has a way. Every store is uniformed. In that hardware store, which I won't name, just for sakes, because I'm bad mouthing a little bit. There's no uniformity from store to store. When they bring in,
I mean, I'll badmouth them.
no, don't.
It's True
Yeah,
Value.
okay, that's better. It's not actually True Value, but yeah,
It used
it
to
used
be.
to be.
It
But
used to be.
But yeah, so they don't organize any of their product. They try to do it by, tool type. But
Dude, oh my god. I went in there. What was I looking for? Springs. I was looking for a spring for my lawnmower. And it took us 40 minutes before I gave up and went somewhere
yeah,
else.
most of the springs were in the bolt aisle, down in the bottom.
Yeah, they're not there
and
anymore.
there was a bin at the top that was an old bolt bin that had a bunch of different springs shoved in it. And guess what? There were half old springs from the True Value, half
Yeah.
new springs from this new store, and the half of the old springs
And-
didn't have a SKU, didn't have a price.
Yep.
They were just guessing.
And True Value did a good job at stocking springs. Now they've got like 3 different springs. They're like an inch long, and they're housed all the way over in the plumbing aisle for some
Yeah.
reason.
Who fucking knows? It's because we run out of room for
And-
one thing and have to move it wherever we could fit it. Is literally what it is. We start.
Yeah, it's
We'd have like we had a 3-foot section for springs, and then we were like, oh, we don't have enough room for this. Guess it has to move. Where are we going to move it? Well, we have 3 foot over there by household goods or some shit like that, and that's where we'd move it. Like, absolutely the most unorganized piece of shit place. The only thing I will give them is that they have because of their overstocking and everything, they have a massive amount of stuff and a good variety of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can usually go there and get most of what you need for a hardware stuff. Mm-hmm. But, yes, it's overpriced, super unorganized, and they like to just be complacent with horrible people, so I had enough of that.
Yeah.
So, moving on from that rant, I don't want to make this whole episode about my fucking previous jobs, because that's kind of boring.
I mean, do you want to talk about mine? Mine are just as bad.
But well, let's find a topic. Let's do this. We're gonna do it on the fly because we did not think of one.
I bought a topper.
That's a topic about a topper.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
Yeah, I'm building. So, I gotta find the tent I want. I want a tent that rises straight up. I don't want like a wedge style or anything because I want to maximize as much space inside this topper as I can. But what I plan on doing is buying a rooftop tent, bolting it to the top of this fiberglass topper after I've reinforced it, obviously. I'm not just going to bolt it to fiberglass and hope for the best. And then I'm going to cut the floor out of the tent and the roof out of the topper so that it's like a go fast topper or a go fast camper kind of. But for like a quarter of the price.
Well, fuck.
A tenth of the price.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because that's because I'm going to have, total, I'll have like $1,400-1,500 into this.
Yeah, out of like an $8,000, $10,000, depending on what you do. Like.
Yeah, and I think it'll look pretty good. I mean, it's a topper meant for my truck. It's white right now, but I'm going to bedline it.
Bedline it or gloss it black?
I'm going to bedline
because your truck's gloss black, right?
My truck is, but I'm kind of going for like that rugged look, you know? So I'll end up bedlining it. Because what I plan on doing is putting Unistrut next to the tent so I can lift it off with the bucket of the tractor rather than having to like manhandle it. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be cool. Either way, this is going to be a really cool project.
So when you say lift the tent off, you're not gonna like actually seal the tent with like a silicone or something to the topper?
I'm talking about lifting the topper.
Oh, the whole topper. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, no, the tent will be affixed to the topper.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Cutting a hole through the bottom of the topper is gonna be through the top of the topper and the bottom of the tent is going to be so fun. At that point, I think you'd have to pretty much have it fixed there first.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
cut
going
a
to
hole
fix it and then
straight
just
through.
Yep.
Make sure it's big enough for the gut.
Yeah, so the goal is, and when I say cut a hole, I mean the whole floor of this tent is pretty much getting cut out. Because the plan is to make it so I can sit with 2 people in the bed of the truck. So if it's raining, we can just push the bed out of the way and then sit and play cards.
So then, if that's the case, because when I think of it, I think of like a hatch with a hinge that would just fold up when the tent's popped out.
Yep.
And
no, it's going to be the whole thing.
Well, how would you take
It'll be
that
like
out?
slats.
Oh,
Yeah.
slats.
So the bed will have like 3/4 inch plywood that's cut to like 2 to 4 inch sections. So when you need it out of the way, you just stack the plywood up. And then I'm going to pull the mattress out of the tent and do inflatable pads.
Interesting.
That way, yeah, it'll be cool.
What if you
dude.
did
I'm trying.
sorry. What if you did slats, but you put a carpet, like the marine style carpet, on top of the slats, screwed them into the slats so you could roll the slats up? That would be quicker and not as messy.
That's a really good idea.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, the roll top tonneau covers?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. You may have just changed how I plan on doing
Just saying that. And then you'd have a nice carpet floor, too. and then it could just roll up.
Which I was going to carpet the slats, but that's even better than what I was going to do.
Just thinking of the time of taking slat by slat out.
Yeah. Which it wouldn't be out. It'd be lift and slide, lift and slide.
Yeah, yeah.
But
otherwise,
no,
yeah.
the roll-up. And with a roll-up, I could get it more out of the way with possibly a stronger floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm going to look into that.
So I don't think that would be too hard. Even the slats themselves, like, if you look at, like, typical bed frames, they tend to have that slat style, and then they have a piece of cloth stapled to them
Yep.
that keep them all together.
Yeah, I'm
like
going to
that.
do... And for that rolling thing, what I would do is just buy a 4x8 sheet of plywood, make a jig that makes it so that every strip is uniform, and then glue it on. It might not be as strong, though. I'm going to play with it. I really like that idea. That's a good idea.
Well, cool. Glad I could help a little. I'm always good at throwing out ideas. It's just like throwing noodles on the wall. Eventually, like, one of them will stick. But you got to throw a lot of noodles before something sticks.
But yeah, so it's going to be a fun project. I don't know how fast it's going to happen because a tent is, $1,300, but it'll be
I know
cool
you're not a
either
big
way.
solar guy, but that would also be like the perfect time to mount solar panels on the top of your pop out. Like hard solar panels.
I actually kind of plan on doing solar panels on top of it.
Because you can't really
The
put much
problem
else
is-
on there.
The problem is I plan on it being kind of standalone, so I'd have to come up with a way to store batteries in the topper.
In the topper?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not gonna stay on the truck. Like, this is something that'll go on my truck a few times a year.
Oh, yeah. So what if you did the batteries in the bed and then ran them up with an Anderson connector up to the topper and just had Anderson, like the
Yeah.
23 have right now? They have the Anderson
Yeah.
kind of coming out through the floor.
The other thing I thought about is one of the tents I'm looking at, it can support like 300 pounds or something like that on the roof of it. And I'm thinking that would be fucking killer to put my fucking canoe on.
Yeah. What is it? A Storytell Now. He's got this bougie ass canoe flipping brackets on the top of his pop out. It's so cool. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
He just like hits these things and it's just like right down on the side. He picks it off. The thing is if he wants to open it, he has to take his canoe off. So, but it's cool.
No, this project's going to be fun. And again, I wouldn't do this on a wheeling rig. But for a tow rig, for a more like solid camp setup, it's pretty fucking killer.
I think even
Yeah.
for it's not a wheeling rig, but like let's say we wanted to do a weekend and just do some forest roads and just check some shit out, like not any like serious wheeling. It would be really good to just take that like as a comfort level player. It would be really fun for that.
So, like, yes, it would, but at the same time, I'll be honest, the 4Runner's more comfortable than the Power Stroke. Like, way more comfortable.
Well,
the
yeah.
ride is so much
yeah,
better.
I mean, when I mean
4Runner.
comfort, I mean sleeping, like tent comfort. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I don't know. I don't know that it'll be any more comfortable than the Swag. The Swag really is that comfortable to sleep
Yeah.
in, so it's hard to...
when like comfortable plus convenience, like having your own built-in, maybe this having a built-in like deck basically where you could sit down, play cards in the bed, all that.
Yep. The big benefit to doing this is having somewhere I can stand up and change without having to get out of my tent, and that's why I'm doing it.
I tagged Mark in a post the other day, and this is yesterday, and the exact tent that, if you guys have been listening for a while, the exact rooftop tent that I've been wanting for ever before they shut down the 4x4 Colorado. Hassan, one of the guys from MST, shared it to me, and he's like, "Isn't this the one you wanted?" And it's like $2,500. And I messaged the lady, and I was like, "Hey, do you know which model this is?" "No, I don't know anything about it." It came on my Bronco, and I'm just trying to get rid of it. I said, oh. And so I was just being nice. And I'm like, hey, this is kind of my field. Like, I wasn't trying to say, like, I'm a professional, but I'm like, this is my field. I know a lot about these. Here's the lowdown on what it could be. It could be, because she didn't have dimensions or anything, I said it could be the smaller model, could be the larger model. I said, here's the prices. The price of that newer model is like $250 off what you're asking. I said, if it was brand new. I said, the price of the smaller model would be even later, and if you don't know which one's which, like, I was just being honest about it, and I said, I would feel comfortable, paying like $800 to $1,000 for this because I don't know which one it is. I said they don't have any more aftermarket like support anymore. I can't get parts for them. They won't help me with customer service. I said, so I'm pretty much screwed, if something happens. I said, so this is where I'm comfortable at. And I let her know, I'm like, you could probably get $2,500. I said, but it might take a little while. I said, but that's where I'd be comfortable at. And then she messaged me, and she was like, yeah, I'd take 800. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
when you don't.
And I was just like, I didn't expect her to say anything. Honestly, I expected kind of a rude answer, but she was like, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate all the info. I would take 800 for you. And I texted my wife, and I'm like, this is one of those times. This might be like the only time we're going to see a deal like this for a brand new fucking tent. And she's like, we literally, like 2 months ago, bought $1,000 tent. She's like, can we actually afford it right now? And I'm like, no, but things like this don't just come around. Like, whether we can afford it or not, it would be a really good investment. And she's like,
well,
what?
Remember I was asking you how much you have like right now, and you're like, oh, like $200. If you had 400, I was going to offer you 400 to go get it.
Yeah, I wish I could, but so and she was right. Like, she's my bank account right now, so like it is like I have to understand that a little bit. I'm getting paid for the job I'm doing right now, but it's coming a little, not right now. In a couple days, a week or so.
Yeah.
So, and we already have that money allocated. Like, we got to pay some debt off. We got to buy like a battery for my Saab and stuff. So it's like technically we can't afford it. Technically, there's nothing wrong with the tent I have of the Gazelle. I just really wanted it.
Gazelle's great.
And it was a great deal. And I'm like, cool. Like, I could use the Colorado for expedition style camping, where we're moving every night. And I could use a Gazelle for base-style camping. And she's like, do we really need two $1,000 tents for the split? And I said, I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm not going to bullshit you. I said, I do, because this is my thing. like this is what I live and breathe here. I said, but you don't. I said, and I understand that. So, and you're right. I don't need this right now. We have a tent that works perfectly fine. So I will pass on it. And
we had a very similar conversation today when Tommy showed up with this topper, and Caitlin's like, why did you buy a topper? And I was like, because I'm building a camper. And she's like, I was like, we talked about this. And she's like, no, we didn't. And I'm like, yeah, we did.
That's the thing with the wives that aren't fully with you. It's like, you could talk about it all day long, but they only grasp like 20% of what it. They're like, oh, well, we were talking about it, but I didn't think you were serious. I'm like, oh, fucking, as a heart attack. Like, that's why I was talking to you about it, to inform you of my bad decision.
She's like, I thought we were buying a camper. And I'm like, no, we're not buying a camper because they're expensive. I'm going to build one.
She's like, fuck. She's like, there goes my running water, my stove, my bed. Like, she was pissed. No shower. She's like, I thought we were getting a camper for luxury.
Which none of them that I looked at had showers and barely had running water. But what's cool is this topper has a door. So it's got a fuel door so that if someone had a tank in their bed, they could fill it up from outside the truck, which is really cool. I'm gonna convert that to shore power so I can just plug it into a 120
Right.
outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's a good deal. It's the cheapest one I found, and it was
Yep.
close.
That's awesome.
And it got delivered. I didn't even have to go
Yeah.
get it.
It's a good deal for sure. Because we were looking at them and they were like $1,400 last episode. So, yeah. So we were definitely struggling there. I tell you what, though, the worst part about that whole interaction today was yesterday was messaging the lady and going, so I know you gave me this crazy good deal. I said, I completely blame my wife. Like, I threw her under the bus with no remorse. I was like, so I just talked to my wife, and she put the kibosh on having a new tent. She said it wasn't feasible. I said, I really appreciate it. I said, what I can do for you, I said, is if you would like, I would recommend putting it at $1,500, maybe $1,700. I said, if you're trying to get rid of it quick. I said, and then what I could do is post it in our off-road group. And I said, I'll try to get someone to, bite on it. She said, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah. And just about 2 hours ago, her listing mark sold. So I feel like I helped her out. She didn't actually pay anything for the tent, so it was an extra $1,500 for her, I'm sure. So maybe I did a good deed. Maybe this will pay me back in the future. This is the second, once in a lifetime deal that I have missed, and it's irritating. The first one was what is it, ARB that makes front bumpers? It was an ARB
Yep.
full steel front bumper, whole assembly, just a little rusty for the FJ for $200. $200. And I passed that up because I even scrounging, looking around, seeing what I could sell, I could not scrounge up $200 for this bumper. So I passed.
I hate being in that spot.
I passed it up, and it's like one of those things where it's the one that got away. So maybe that's a good topic for a couple minutes. Do you guys have any marketplace buys or buying opportunities that you passed on that you were like, this is the one that got away?
Oh my god, dude. Okay.
Oh.
I don't remember what this BMW was. 1 second. I had a BMW. It was a 90s BMW I don't remember, E46 maybe. Yeah, it was an E46. And this thing was spotless with 30,000 miles on it. Dude had done a custom wrap. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. It made 700 horsepower. He was selling it for $3,800. Its blue book value, not its modified value, its blue book value was 13.
Right.
And I got a hold of the bank. The bank approved the purchase, everything. And I went to buy it from him. And then the bank was supposed to send me a check. They never sent the check. And then they sent me a letter saying they actually couldn't approve it. It was, not only was it the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me, which it isn't now, but it was at the time. It sucked because this car was everything that needs done to an E46 to make it reliable was done to this one. Plus it was built. It was the perfect BMW.
Yeah, I had something like that when I was living in Lansing. I had a 2000 Chevy Suburban, and I was looking to trade for a different car, and I found someone with a 71 Oldsmobile supposedly running and driving, no issues other than, some paint, maybe a little bit of rust on the bottom. It had a redone paint job, but it was kind of crappy. It was a dark orange. But otherwise, it ran and drove fine. And I took a big chance on it because I was going to trade him flat out, and he said yes. And I was like, dude, I'm going to get a fucking muscle car as my daily. This is going to be sick. And I drove 2 hours to go see this guy. And I come out, and he's he took a long time to come outside. He finally comes outside, and I'm like, all right, let's get this going. And he's like, it won't start. And I'm like, what do you mean it won't start?
Oh.
He's like, he was a younger guy too. He's like, I don't know what's going on with it. And at that time, I knew nothing mechanically about cars other than like doing the oil and like doing spark plugs, like basic maintenance. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I think the starter's shot on it. I was like, no, I need a car like to drive home. Like, he's like, because he told me, he's like, well, we could trade and then you can fix it up and go home tomorrow or whatever. And I said, no, like, I need it today and I need to get to work with it tomorrow. Like, I was young and dumb too. Like, but it was a 71 Olds and it was beautiful. And so the starter didn't work, nothing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't make this thing fucking work. Like, you can't figure this shit out. You said it ran, you said it drove. And as I like got closer to it, I saw some bubbling from rust that was painted over. And I was like, yeah, this thing is in worse condition than I thought. And I didn't care at the time because my heart was set on it, but he couldn't get it running. And I'm like, dude, no, I literally need it. So I'm not saying I cried on the drive home, but my face welled up a little bit because that was like a dream car. And it was just like snatched out from me because the 71 Olds was very close in body style to my dad's 70 GTO. And I've always wanted the 70 GTO, and I'm like, dude, I could paint it yellow like Dad's was, or whatever, and drive it around, have a daily driver like Joe Dirt, and I was just so happy about it. Yeah, I was so mad.
I sent pictures of that BMW to the group chat.
Yeah, dude, that is so cool.
Yep.
Because I still keep them around because like. I'm not a BMW fan. I like one BMW, and that is the E46.
Yeah, those are
so
beautiful.
like,
I love the front ends on those.
Dude, me too. And to have one that was that close to in my grasp, and then just have it ripped away.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it sucks, dude.
Also, looking at this picture, this is in Tucson, is where I took this. Look at how like you can tell that's not Michigan. Like that is wild.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm also a little bit distracted right now because my wife, the Saab's having issues right now. And my wife is gonna try and drive it home. So
should I just go get the trailer and go get her?
No, we did this the other I could smell the fuel she dumped. So, no, we did this the other day, and after clearing the coats a few times in the battery, unhooking the battery and whatever, she eventually cleared the fuel and drove home fine. So, I'm hoping that that's all we need to do. But,
the other thing that she could try is pulling the fuel pump solenoid and starting it. That's going to use up any fuel that's in the cylinder and injector, and will clear all of the flooding.
That might be a bit more than she has right now, or that she could find and stuff.
What? Oh. I'm going to say, it's literally, there's a fuse box in the engine bay, and in it is a label that says fuel pump relay, and you go, plunk.
Yeah, she's stubborn, and she was going to drive this to Midland. I told you about the last time that she was going to try driving this thing, and I'm like, and I keep telling her no. I think it's the ECU. She thinks it's the solenoid. The solenoid's cheaper, especially because it's free, because I can get it off of my car right now, because that's not running.
Right.
And so we're going to go with that first, but I'll tell you guys a secret. I'm like 98% positive it's an ECU, but she is, she's the store manager at AutoZone. She knows parts, and she just is pretty positive that it's the solenoid. And I'm like, you know what? I said, you know what? Fine. We'll do the solenoid. We'll do it your way. I said, and I hope to God that you're right, because if you are, easy fix. We're done. We got the plate. It should be fine after this.
I will say I doubt it's the wastegate solenoid.
Me too.
But yeah, the other thing I did this week is I went to Secretary of State 2 times and still have to go back. and my truck is still not registered, and its temp plate expires on the 5th.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So I've got an appointment on Monday, the 4th, and if they don't register it, I'm going to fight them right there in the Secretary of State lobby, and then I'm just not going to be allowed to go to Secretary of State, or I'm going to be in prison, one of the two.
Honestly, when you first told me that happened, I was like, it's going to come up stolen. And, like, that's legitimately when you're like, I had an issue with the truck at Secretary of State. I'm like, wait, what? How do you have issues as a Secretary of State?
They don't believe that I paid $17,000 for it. That's all it is. So they need a bill of sale.
That's crazy because I don't know, like I've paid $200 for a car, and they're like, and it was like in 07, I paid $200 for it, and they're like,
yeah,
okay. I tell them I paid $400 for a different car. Okay, what did you pay for this Toyota?
Well,
like they don't care. They've never asked me that.
So what it is they have a sheet that tells them like what the recommended value of a vehicle is, and the recommended value of my truck is like 27 or something like that. So according to theirs, I paid 10 grand less than I should have, and I already paid taxes on it in Illinois, which works for Michigan, because they can't charge sales tax twice. So they're a little irritated that they can't charge me taxes, so they want me to prove that I paid $17,000 for it, so that because then they can't charge me taxes. It's the whole thing's fucking.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense in Illinois, because like in Michigan they don't go off of what you paid for the truck anymore based on like how they tax you for it. They go off of what the MSRP for the vehicle was.
Yep.
So which is bonkers bullshit,
fucking crazy.
Bonkers bullshit, batshit
Dude,
crazy.
Yeah. Do you know how much it costs to register my 4Runner because it's a limited? $230 a year. Do you know how much an SR5 is to register? Like half that.
Mine's $230 for my truck, and I paid like $18 for it, and I just can't. But the thing is even like Sienna's Saab was $201 for her 2007 Saab that has been sitting in a barn bullshit. Like, there is no fucking reason why we should be paying that much tax on it. All right, let me...
Yeah, it's...
almost home. Got it. Okay, so she'll make it home. That's okay.
So then, that makes me really worried, though, because the MSRP of my Power Stroke is like 63 or 64. Yeah, that's gonna fucking hurt.
That's gonna be like $300-$400.
Dude, I'm fucking.
If it's,
I mean,
if it's
paranoid about
if it's $200 for my 07 and it MSRP'd for like 28 or something like that. I don't even know. I'm assuming 28. Then you're 60-some thousand. Yeah. Oh God, I couldn't imagine.
Well, I'm paying $200 for my 08. Oh, the MSRP of the 4Runner is also $55.
Well, this year or that one?
That one.
It was $55 back then?
$35.
Oh, I was going to say, that's fucking crazy.
No, I accidentally put in 1008 and Google translated that to 2008. Oh. It was $55 for the same package.
Holy shit, dude. I was like, because it's like a 99, right?
98, yeah.
I'm like, 55 for a 98? You're fucking bonkers out of your mind to pay that much for a limited. Like, my God, man.
Well, limited was their top package. They didn't have TRD then. Limited was the top.
Still. That's like...
Yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles. They even put plastic trim on the side.
Plastic. Dude, by the way, I'm going to... Right. Let me interject real quick. Wood grain needs to come back. Fuck all this plastic trim.
Dude.
There was a place for wood grain. Subaru did an LL Bean edition Subarus, and they would have wood grain, like shifter column, wood grain, like plastic on the doors. I went to a junkyard, ripped all that shit out, and put it on my Subaru, and it made it look 55 times better.
I hate the wood grain in my Forerunner, but I like the wood grain in the Power Stroke. So
Yeah. Where is it?
the wood grain in the Power Stroke around the radio.
I can't even remember it. All I can remember is that horrible textured dash that like all car manufacturers did at that time.
Which is funny because that's my favorite dash Ford has ever
I
made.
know. We talked about this when you did that, but the dashes with those micro bumps or whatever on them, they are. As someone who likes like detailing and stuff, does it kind of as a hobby for microfibers, for any kind of cleaning, it makes them fucking horrible to clean. And to me,
It's
feel.
They are hard to clean.
And the feel, it feels like garbage.
To me, so looks wise, not so much feel wise, but looks wise, that is the most rugged dash Ford has ever had, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like, it looks industrial.
Yeah, that's when they were doing that fucking dropping the big metal Ford sign on concrete. Built Ford tough. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Remember that commercials?
It is,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So they were trying to make everything industrial constructions like tough, and I don't like it. I don't think it's their best. I will say the instrument cluster is pretty cool. Like the big blue line on the like lights up. That's pretty clean. But the dash
I like
styling myself. Ugh.
So once you step up to the IllumiDuty, I love the digital dash where it's got like it's a screen instead of dials, because there's so much you can do with that setup. But I mean, I don't have it, so
It's okay. Sienna stalled in the driveway, halfway up the driveway. I wish I could hit my head harder, but I can't. It's just ridiculous.
I feel bad for her because, like, you know, she went from a pretty nice car and then having to go to something like the struggle bus that all the rest of us have been through.
Yeah.
So to her, it's harder because she's never had that really.
She's never had a, she came right out of the Navy, and this is like her third car she's ever had. So her first car was the Escape, second car was the CRV, and this is her third car. And I hate to tell her, and maybe it's good for her a little bit, because she likes working on vehicles, so she says. But like, we all had to go through that struggle with a $2,000 car and having to fix it every couple weeks, every couple months, and
I've been through that struggle with almost every car I've owned.
Yeah. The FJ was the first car that I have ever gotten that I didn't have to fix immediately a couple days later, a couple weeks later. And the CRV was really good because, at the time when we had it as a loan, what was that? A lease. Yeah, as a lease, we just knew that it would run and drive. Like, you get in it, you could go to Chicago and back. That was really nice having that security to know that, like, if the truck broke down, we had a good grocery getter, a good, driver. So it's a big hit to us.
Yeah.
But we made that decision. I also made that decision, it's partly my fault, in the spare of the moment, because that was cheaper monthly payment than a 2014 RAV4 with 230,000 miles on it, base model.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a spur of the moment. We got absolutely shit when Sienna totaled her Escape. By the way, we paid that off a week before she totaled it. Not her fault, but still, we paid it off a week before that, and they gave us $2,000, and we're like, what the fuck do we buy with $2,000? You cannot buy. We bought it 2 years ago for fucking $6,700, and we got $2,000 for it. We're like, what the fuck can we buy with $2,000? Our credit's not the best. Like, all we could do is put it on a down payment on something.
Right.
And we just had the kid, so we needed a really good car for her for going back and forth, taking the kid to daycare, and it was just felt trapped.
You could have bought like a 2000 Chevy Cavalier They're not luxury, but they sure are fucking reliable until they're not.
Yeah, that's the thing is anything that you spend $2,000 on, you're going to be fixing it and it's going to be downtime. And at that time we were both working, so we needed 2 cars to work and work well.
Right.
And so we were just put in a really shitty position, and that remedied it for a while, but it was not sustainable. So, like, we're doing good now. If I was working, we'd be doing like working full time. We'd be doing like great, money wise. But then, of course, I have to pay something for child care, so maybe not so much. So it sucks. But once the FJ is paid off in a little over a year, we can start looking at getting her something nicer. And in the meantime, we have 2 other fucking Saabs. Honestly, if this one keeps fucking up to where we can't drive it,
get the other one put together.
Yeah, I mean, I drove it home. It doesn't have the same issues as hers. It's got a whole other set of issues, but it doesn't have those issues. So the other set of issues are like drivable issues other than that spring. But like, so at the end of the day, I mean, like, we'll still be able to figure something out, and she could always take the FJ if she needs to, so whatever. It's just kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it just sucks, dude.
I mean, it sucks. It really does. But, like, at the end of the day, it's just kind of where we're at. This is where everyone's at. It's hard for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, someone just posted a 93 Hilux Surf with the diesel in it for $6,500.
You know, you could have got that, too.
Dude, that's what's going through my head is I could have fucking had this thing.
2 more weeks you could have waited.
The Hilux Surf is like, it's got an exploded, oh my god. Okay, so it looks good, right? That's not the problem. The entire exhaust system is fucking roached.
Oh,
it's a 5-speed too.
I don't know. I don't think exhaust system would be too much to me, like, to fix. Not like that is,
for the most part.
You know what I mean?
The fact that it's one of the harder ones to find over here
yeah.
is I'd almost have to have that exhaust imported, which would suck.
Imported or custom made.
Yeah,
Just weld it up.
Yeah, it's like right at the fucking manifold. It's got splits.
Oh god.
Yeah, take it off at the manifold. There's some plates over it. Patch her up. Send it.
I've always wanted a Surf. That one's a 2nd gen Surf, so I want a 3rd gen Surf, but they're just, when they are for sale here, they want buku bucks for them.
Sure.
Because they know what they have.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to import a 4Runner and then be like, yeah, I have a 4Runner. You know? No, they know it's a Surf. There is a guy... so I have a new friend on Facebook who lives in Ukraine who drives a US spec 4Runner.
Oh, I forgot about this.
So they imported the 4Runner from here to Ukraine, and then he bought it. And I asked him, I'm like, are 4Runners sought after there like Surfs are here? And he's like, oh yeah, dude. People love 3rd gen 4Runners, and I'm like, what? Is it just because we can't get them? Because the Surf is a better vehicle than a 4Runner because it comes in diesel.
Yeah,
but it's just funny.
Typing.
All right, guys.
Let's wrap it up.
That's about an hour. We good to call it?
I'm good to call it. I got to rip off a solenoid and go throw it in another car now.
I gotta make dinner.
So what's the what are we titling this episode? The Solenoid Suck or something? SS? SSS?
Oh,
SS?
yeah, maybe not SS. Cars.
I'm glad you caught the joke, because I totally would do like a Nazi uniform with a solenoid on it.
But no, I don't know. Maybe Cars Suck. Who knows?
Yeah. Cars suck. I like
All right.
it. All right, let's get out of here. We'll catch you guys later.
See you later.
We're sorry these episodes are coming late.
Bye.
Bye.